We're back. This is Nerdos episode 11.
Back to back. now.
Yes, we having this is our
We
second
didn't
one.
change clothes. We're here another day.
Yes, we slept over. Yeah.
We had a slumber party.
Yes. At this time
We had a slumber party.
you fucking gay Lord.
So what are we choosing to now after this? What are
Yeah.
we doing?
Or waters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Football
what-
season
what-
started.
yeah,
Is everyone
yeah.
drinking?
No, I am
Probably.
too, man.
Okay, at least two of us have
All right,
balls. At least
bye.
two of us are humans.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers,
Here's
guys.
to my missing top.
Cheers to Irma not coming. I
Here's
hope
to Scissor.
Oh my God.
Oh, come for me, baby.
yeah, that man. I don't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah. We just went to a hell of review of Game of Thrones, so we're not gonna talk about it.
Yeah, we're
We're
done
not
with
gonna
we're
say
done with
no more Game of
That's
Thrones.
No more Game of Thrones.
it. We got that shit out of the way.
Yes.
But
It was lengthy. It was
I did 45 minutes the other day.
Yeah.
You did another 45 minutes today.
dude, 45 minutes. What are you talking about? It was like an hour and a half.
Oh, even better. I do love Emilia.
It was a good talk though. I liked it. It was good.
I do love Emilia. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot to say.
Yes.
That's true. John.
I miss Natalie both of them. I liked her better.
So we're gonna go with the first topic that we have. I think is Defenders.
Yeah. So Defenders review. Okay,
You guys
so
saw it?
Well, so only I think you saw it.
I'm still finishing Iron Fist.
I'm still working on
How we
Daredevil.
gonna work in Defenders fucking
Just
review?
talk about it, man. I mean,
I
just
got-
try to make
I
it
got
spoiler
through
free. Say what you think.
I got through Iron Fist from the last episode that we did, or the previous last episode, and I got to about the halfway through the second episode of Defenders before I fell asleep. So that's
So-
where I'm at. I'm at where Electra gets resurrected.
So, do you like it at all?
It's pretty cool because as it starts bringing the stories together of each one and how it's all gonna
It ties it in.
ties into the hand and everything, how each one gets affected. Because as we know, Daredevil and Iron Fist are involved with the hand. But then how are Luke Cage and Jessica Jones going to be involved? So the way it starts kind of previewing how they're going to be
The
involved.
motives is a little different,
Well,
you know. It's like the motives.
I
is
know in the
like,
comics, Luke Cage and Iron Fist are like a team.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then Jessica Jones, I forgot her name in the comics, but she's married to Luke Cage.
They're not there.
And
yet,
then
though.
Daredevil is just around the city all the time and helps them out whenever.
Yeah, so I mean,
And I think Iron Fist pretends to be Daredevil at some point.
yes, there's a
Yes.
storyline where,
There's a
where
storyline.
they're trying to exonerate Matt Murdock.
Yes.
So he impersonates Daredevil.
Man, you,
Yeah.
you finally have something to say, John. You actually,
Luke Cage had that run of Power Man and Iron
Power Man,
Fist.
yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Their team.
Yeah, so I mean, so far so good. Obviously, I want to get through it. I'm sure I'll get through it by the next time we do the following podcast. But yeah, so far so good.
My question is, I mean, I've yet to see Iron Fist, and I've heard how bad Iron Fist is.
It's
I
not that
don't
it's
think it's
bad.
that bad.
It's
Well,
not that it's bad.
He's
okay,
bad.
so-
He's
okay.
bad.
But
He's
I've-
whiny.
I tried to survive it, dude. I tried to survive it seriously.
He's
but by the time I got
whiny.
to that last episode, I was telling Ray, it's just like, dude,
He's a
it got to
little
too much.
Okay, well, my question is,
he's a puss.
okay, so I've heard that you guys have always talked about how Iron Fist is probably like the least likable of the
Of the
Netflix shows. So my question is that
No, I thought
how does
was
it play out? How does it play out in the Defenders? Like, is it better? Is he better as a character?
His
Is
fight scene-
action
his fight
better?
scene-
his fight scene
Fight
are
scene
better.
seems to be better.
He's still an emo Theon Greyjoy.
But see, I think in the
Theon
in
Greyjoy.
the Iron Fist show, he still acts like he's 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Like,
so
Dude,
good.
every series
He still
scene,
acts-
he's about to cry.
Yeah, he still acts like the day he
You really need
left.
a Tobey Maguire.
He didn't grow up
Yeah.
as a man. He stayed as a boy, and,
Correct.
and
He just carried
they're
that
trying
burden
to
for
say
too
that
long.
he came back to his life as where he
Mm.
left it.
You would have thought after all this fucking training that he's did, you know, man up. You know, I'm a more than a fucking black belt already. I'm a fucking master almost.
Dragon.
I kill a fucking dragon, you know.
I got this nice shiny pimp hand. Like, what is happening? Whatever. I saw the whole show.
That's what happens when you have 14 years of celibacy.
Yeah, that's true.
Question though, before you get to you is
Get a
is
golden
this,
hand.
Is this only
No,
one
you
season?
actually,
Yeah,
you're still
it's
a
a
little
one-shot.
boy.
It's a one shot.
So
Yeah,
as of right now, it's a one shot.
because I've seen that when I go to like look at each series on Netflix, it says one season, 2 seasons, one out. This one just says one series.
I've read
know
the
it's
same that
Yeah, it's a
supposedly it's got
one-shot.
one shot. But you know what though? I think.
But it depends because I
think
read
it
something.
depends.
I read something
Like
that they're
depends on
planning to
how
do
it goes.
season 2.
It depends on
Yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah, like anything. If anything does well enough and the money's there, people will be willing to make more out of it anyway. So
Yeah.
So
So yeah, I saw it. I finished it. I thought it was good. It wasn't great.
So which one out of all the shows do you think is better?
Daredevil
in this
is the
order.
first one.
Daredevil, no,
Jessica Jones.
Daredevil 2, Jessica Jones, Daredevil 1, Defenders, Iron Fist, Luke Cage. Luke Cage was my least favorite. Yeah, I like Luke Cage.
you like Iron Fist
I like
better than
Luke
Luke Cage?
Because I liked the acting in Iron Fist as much as he sucked. The rest of the cast,
Yeah,
was better.
the
Rest of the cast in
Yeah,
Luke Cage, with the exception of Cottonmouth and Luke Cage himself,
Cottonmouth is amazing.
and Rosario Dawson, but everybody else was rainless. They were awful. Misty Knight that chick needs to be recast.
I'm confused
Yeah,
a
I
little
think
bit.
so.
I'm
They need
confused
to
a
put
little
her in
bit.
a dumpster and let her on fire.
I'm confused a little bit in Iron Fist. Maybe
Fuck.
the Defenders explains it a little more. But I thought Luke Cage was with Misty Knight, but in Iron Fist it makes it seem like Rosario is with.
Yeah, no, he's in.
Well,
he's
he's
with Cage.
no.
I've seen Luke Cage.
Yeah, so he gets
At the end of Luke Cage, he's with Rosario.
Yeah.
Not with Misty Knight.
No.
Okay. Luke Cage in
It
the
works from one to
series.
the other.
You're talking about in the comic?
No, in the shows.
On the show, no. The show, no. Misty Knight is just a character that knows.
Jessica Jones was the MVP
And-
character.
And
of
what
the-
happened?
of
And what
Defenders
happened
by
at the
far.
end of the show of the Defenders that she lose her arm? That's pretty badass because in the comic books, Misty Knight has the bionic arm.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah,
they're gonna do that part.
Well, I mean, I've seen it on IG, so it's not. Yeah.
So they're gonna do that part here. Hopefully in the second season.
Jessica Jones is the best character of all of these characters.
Yeah, I would say so.
She's more interesting. She's more human. She's more flawed.
But what I
which makes
think-
her more,
Yeah, you can relate to her more.
Yeah.
But what I think it lacks, it lacks a part of the motive why all of these people get together.
Right.
I think the series lacks that part because Jessica Jones could be like, "Fuck this," But
Well,
they
she tried.
but they had to put it in the show somehow. So they made her get a little bit of story on it. Like you had to investigate this guy, and this guy is the one that made the plans of this. Some bullshit. Come on.
My biggest beef was just the fact that in a lot of these things, the bad guy's plan just didn't seem all that threatening. It just was kind of like
Very low.
You don't see what the plan is.
Right.
It's like what?
Like, oh, so we're gonna sink New York into a big hole.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's basically Independence Day. It just for all that build up and the necessity of bringing these four characters together, you would have thought that the threat was going to be something big, and that was my one complaint. Other than that,
Daredevil 2, wasn't there something in that hole?
yeah, they explain it.
Displaying the hall. The hall is where they found the bones of the dragons and.
From
And
Iron Fist.
the dragon was supposed to be the part of Iron Fist. This is where the two stories combine together because the hand and the mythical part of Iron Fist, which is the dragon, combines with the hand. Because in the comic books, the hand is a totally different thing. It's a base operation, mafia, whatever you want to call it, from Japan.
Kind of like the Yakuza.
Yeah, kind of like the Yakuza, and Daredevil is the one who's on
He
it.
deals with
And
them.
the hand is like they worship a devil, which is totally different from
It's a different take from the comic.
yeah from what
In the comic book,
Iron
Iron
Fist.
Fist, you can face the hand anytime.
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think they do,
Yeah.
but it's a different take. They don't want to take this whole thing away. And the hand, what is it? I lost my train of thought. The hand here, the motive is a little different. So over there, Daredevil in the comics fights the hand and fights the devil. And at some point, the devil possesses Daredevil. And I don't know if you've seen that. There's some image of him with horns and things like that.
Like
The
he's an
devil-
actual devil.
yeah, that's why they call it the devil of Hell's Kitchen, because he's actually a devil in some parts. But
I haven't read a lot of Daredevil comics. I'm just waiting for hopefully they bring Bullseye in season 3.
Read the Frank Miller run. That one was really.
I know at some point he becomes the Kingpin too. Like, he kills
I
Kingpin
haven't
and becomes
heard that.
Kingpin. That's fucking awesome. But I
And
haven't.
the poor girl,
But
she suffers a lot.
Karen,
Yeah.
yeah,
She becomes like a prostitute.
like an alky and a prostitute.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, but
that's some shit.
Jessica Jones comic books are really good too. I don't know if
Yeah, I
you
heard
wanna.
when they
If
did
you,
the Marvel Night Run. And
yes,
she-
yeah, the
that's
more
pretty good
the
also.
Night Run is actually
Duo?
one of the
Duo.
most darker comic books, and they're very for more mature audience than
Is it
the normal teenager.
No, it's not Alias. is it?
Alias.
Yeah,
Is it
Alias. Yes, Alias. Yeah, that's the best one I think.
She's
Yeah,
the best
but-
character. Kristen Ritter does a great job with her.
Right. Well, she's very flawed, and like you said, she's very relatable. I haven't gotten through Jessica Jones. I'm still working on getting through like Daredevil and Jessica Jones, but obviously you can see that she's like, she's an alky, and she's very like down on herself, and again she's very relatable
She's
as a
cynical.
character.
She's
Right, she's very
cynical as fuck,
cynical.
So it's awesome.
So it's a much more relatable character, but
And her story in the comics is awful too.
she's a
She's
good actress.
Oh, I didn't know. She got
Because
raped.
that purple man,
Oh, yeah.
like rapes her.
Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, they kind of allude to that.
Yeah,
in
but in
her
the comic
series.
it's worse.
And the
Yeah.
comic book is much worse. In the Alias one,
They
Yeah,
can
it's
delve
very-
more into it.
yeah, they get. They get
What are you
this
doing,
guy.
Mo?
What?
Turn that shit down, man.
You dick are you doing?
Watching a video of FSU losing.
Oh god.
Nice.
All right. So,
overall,
verdict-wise,
overall, is
what do you guys think?
is really
It's a
good.
B.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
a B plus probably.
Yeah, B plus, I guess.
So now,
Soundtrack was nice.
okay,
Soundtrack
but now,
was
so
nice.
where does that
Yeah.
fall in the tier of the shows? You still think Daredevil is better?
Yes.
Yeah, I told
I
you.
think
Okay,
so.
Daredevil season 2, Jessica Jones 1, Daredevil 1, Defenders,
And
Iron
then
Fist,
Iron
Luke
Fist
Cage.
and Luke Cage.
Yeah, from what I've seen
But
so
you
far,
like
for
Iron
sure.
Fist the least.
Yeah, the
I
least.
like it. I don't think it's terrible.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
I
just to
like
see how it
I
is.
like Luke Cage
I still
more
like
than
Luke Cage
than
better
that
Iron
Iron
Fist.
Fist.
Dude, Diamondback was awful.
It was kind of cheesy. Yeah, I had to give you that.
Double-fisted Rainuses. That guy was awful. It was
That's terrible.
It was terrible. And Misty Knight's partner, whatever his face, the cop, the white cop, was shitty. She's shitty. She looked shitty as hell in Daredevil with that Stephen A. Smith haircut, with her hairline all the way here, and then terrible.
All right. So
No.
Oh.
I mean in Defenders.
moving,
Okay.
moving on from the Defenders, you guys that watched the Death Note movie, I've seen a couple of episodes of the I've seen a couple of episodes of the anime. I've heard bad things about the
There's-
movie. What do you guys think?
Bad reviews after bad reviews after bad reviews.
Really, I mean, the anime so far is good. The anime
Listen,
is good.
people have been telling me about watching an anime for good ages, and I held off on it, and then finally, for
You finally give in?
purposes, I finally gave in. I enjoy the anime. I'm still about 4 episodes from the ending, so I don't know quite how the story
I
ends
got
on the
through
show.
a lot of it. Man. What is it, like 30-something episodes?
Yeah, I'm on 32, so 5 away. But the movie was awful. The movie was like if Diamondback and Missy Knight had a retarded baby, that's what this movie was. It was terrible.
I had to say that it was so bad. I watched it twice because the first.
Watched it
What?
twice?
Okay, let me explain. Because the
Holy
first time
shit.
I watched like the first 30
The same thing
minutes.
with Dragon Ball.
The
You
first
watched Dragon Ball Z twice also?
the first 30 minutes and I
Jesus
fall
fuck.
asleep
My
and I fell
condolences.
asleep and then I had to watch the rest of it again because I couldn't hold it.
Same exact thing.
Oh my god.
Believe that?
It was horrible.
But that being said, though, I heard Willem Dafoe was really good as Ryuk.
That's the only thing about it.
I'll keep it in mind
Ryuk's-
whenever I have trouble falling asleep.
It's
I'll
just a
put
cool
that
character,
bitch on.
period. But I didn't watch it just based on
Trailers.
the trailer. I
But this is not the first time that Death Note has been a live
yeah
movie
I'm not-
because I watched the previous ones from
Japanese
Japanese ones and they're horrible too.
Did you guys
They're
watch
not that good.
The effects and everything is good,
No,
but
I've
at
heard
least
it's
the
really bad, too.
story follows it
I've heard it's
more
really
than
bad.
Yes.
this is.
Have you seen the series?
The show?
Yeah.
Which one? Which?
Yeah, Attack on Titan.
Oh, okay.
Because he's saying that we haven't watched the live action, but I've heard the live action is really bad also.
No, you guys need to watch
The Tick.
You watch it?
I watched the pilot,
I've heard it's pretty good.
and I have the season on.
I watched
my
the
list
pilot.
for Amazon. Amazon.
It's
Tell me
alright.
it's fucking not hilarious.
It's
It's
alright.
hilarious.
I don't know.
Did you ever watch the 90s cartoon?
I remember you used to watch it
The
all the
90s
time.
cartoon was great. It was so
and
funny, man.
I did like a little bit
Cheer
of
fucking Cheerface Chippendale and fucking the
American
other
Made.
take American Made.
You used to have a fucking.
The big ass doll.
Deflator
Big ass
mouse.
doll.
With the button on the back. Like,
Oh my god! Yeah, I had the fucking action. I had the action figure that used to say all the fucking catchphrases. Spoon.
Dude, the show is hilarious.
Is it?
Yeah, you have to
Oh,
watch it.
Does he say spoon?
Evil is a foot.
Spoon evil is a foot. I am the
He says, has he said spoon yet?
So he's getting shot. Choo, 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 choo.
Push it.
As he's getting shot, choo, 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 he's freaking walking through him and he's just talking his bullshit and just smacking.
All right.
Has he said spoon yet?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know what though? Like I've seen the previews for it, and I remember seeing the Patrick Warburton version of him. I like him better, like the way he looked.
Yes. The one in the that was on Fox.
The Fox one, yeah. I watched that series. It was only like 7 episodes. It wasn't that
No.
many,
Yeah,
and it was funny. But I like Patrick Warburton as the character of the Tick because he's just so like he was totally him. Like
he had the big body, he had the goofy voice,
and the costume was so much more spot on.
Watch this one.
Really?
Right. Yeah.
Did you see the 90s version though?
So,
I may have briefly, like watched a clip of it.
You gotta watch a little bit of it though,
No,
because it's shut the fuck up, man. You gotta give it a chance. God damn.
You have to give the new one a chance.
so,
I plan on it.
so on that
Fucker.
note, no, don't even fucking waste your time.
Yeah, don't bother. Watch
Don't
the
worry.
anime.
On Death
Yeah,
Note?
watch the anime and
Watch
that's
the
it. You
movie. The
really,
movie's missing all of the nuance and all
Yes.
the like soul that makes the show interesting.
yes.
But we should have known that the minute they recasted Light Yagami as Light Turner and moved it from Japan to America. Like that should have been the death rattle. Which
Yeah.
I think will fit nicely to the next thing. If you want to go there.
I think someone wrote Death Note in the Death Note.
I don't know
The,
what
the whitewashing of the heads.
Okay, well, so I mean, this is really more just like on other news. Alonso brought this up that Ed Skrein, who played Ajax in Deadpool, and he played Dario Naharis earlier in
I thought you said no Game of Thrones.
There's always Game of
only
Thrones, so-
only because he's related to Game of Thrones.
Game of
fucker.
Thrones is all
This
things.
fucking guy, man.
Yeah.
He played Dario
If you think
Naharis.
that's bad, you should have seen him last night on Fantasy.
All I know is I saw the dolphin outfit, and that was like it.
It was
That,
a meltdown.
that shit was funny. But anyway,
So the question is that now this controversy of United States, I don't know if United States.
it's Caucasian characters playing.
Yeah, we're
Caucasian
whitewashing
characters playing
many
other
characters
races.
and in this different movies,
Yeah.
series,
We
and
talked
whatever
about it
that's
in Doctor-
happening.
We talked about it in Doctor Strange with
Yes.
the chicken
with
plays,
the ancient one.
What else did we talk about?
So the-
Iron Fist.
Tilda
Iron
Swinton,
Fist,
Tilda
obviously,
Swinton,
yes.
right?
Yeah, Tilda Swinton.
But in this time, this guy actually gave up the role because he quit because of all the fucking press and all whatever. The
Yeah, so he
comments.
was getting a lot of bad press for taking the role of a character named Benjamin Daimyo, who's an Asian like.
Same thing with Ghost in the Shell, Scarlett Johansson.
Well, but that was a little bit different in the sense that, so she was casted and she took the role despite, and then within the movie, they said that they Asianed her anyway. It's just her shell was Caucasian, so that's where the issue was. But regardless, I mean, the fact of the matter is that Ghost in the Shell just didn't get the theme of the movie anyway.
I thought that the
I haven't
movie
even
itself
seen
was pretty cool.
I haven't seen it. I never saw it.
Did you
I
see the
thought it
original?
was-
Watch your
Okay,
reviews
the
that we did.
original. Okay,
For a movie, man, for the movie that it was, I thought it was
okay. Look,
not.
and I
getting
mean,
back
not
to
to,
that.
not to necessarily backtrack, but we did an episode on Ghost in the Shell.
Which
And-
one was that?
Yeah, like 2
I
or
don't
3
know.
maybe. But
I
so
we did like 2
we were-
episodes, I think.
because we were anticipating it. Like,
Maybe number
what? So, okay, so I was a big fan of the original when it came out back in '95. I think we said. I love the movie because, for one thing, the animation is fantastic, and it holds up even 20 years later. Like I watched it recently before the live action version came out, and it's one of those movies that you're just like, holy shit, the animation was fucking amazing. And even now, you're like, it's better than half the shit that's out there. So the animation is fantastic, and the themes that they touch on are more about, how humanity, like what defines you as a human being versus an artificial intelligence and what makes something human. So the problem with the live action is that it kind of missed the point on what the original movie made. And although the visuals were fantastic, a lot of it, for one thing, thematically, a lot of stuff was lost. And the other thing that was kind of disappointing was that remember we talked about um, the score of the movie. The music in the original movie was fantastic, and they didn't use it at all for the animated movie. Like they did a trailer. They did a trailer where they did a sequence it's a very iconic sequence where they compared the two. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I saw.
Where they show the shelling sequence where they're putting her together and then the side to side with the animated version, and the score is on par with both, and it's amazing. And I was hoping that they would do the same thing in the live action version, and they didn't do it. And I was like, what the fuck?
People underestimate the importance of the score, soundtrack, whatever you want to call it, in any work.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because in Dragon Ball Z, the Bruce Faulconer score that he does for the show,
the original show.
No, in the Funimation one.
Okay, right.
His score is awesome, and then I hate the Japanese fucking tracks, but like the Hell's Bells, the Vegeta's theme music, like dude, like the 3 months in my life that I worked out, I would work out with that song.
That's cool.
That shit was amazing,
right?
And it's really important to any work. And it sucks that something that you like so much.
It strikes a chord emotionally and thematically. You know what I mean? Like you associate it with the way you felt.
There's no reason why not to do it. It's like in the new Voltron cartoon. The new Voltron cartoon is awesome.
Great. It's really good.
It would have been better if they would have had the at least for the Voltron.
Have that
no, it doesn't have it at all.
No. And the music that they have in its place for when they form Voltron, it blows.
Yeah. And the thing is that the show is really
good.
The show is really good.
And the
animation
I really liked
it. But yeah, like if they just threw those little tidbits in there.
It blows worse than Misty Knight, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
This guy's stuck on that.
Let's touch another one that I wanted to say too, is that like the new Joker, the news
so
of the new Joker.
News on other news.
I'm not too crazy.
So apparently they're making a Joker movie. That's an origin Joker movie, and it's basically a separate universe.
Warner Brothers, DC, and all their shit that they're going through, they're just obviously trying to do something that is totally different than what Marvel's doing, since they're fucking killing it. But I could give a fuck. Now, am I going to watch it? Of course I'm going to watch it, because it's going to be a Joker movie, and if it's Leonardo DiCaprio, supposedly he's going to be the ruler.
Okay, so yeah.
The rumor actor is that, but this I heard or I read too that they're trying to do a story from how he grew up.
It's an origin.
Right.
story.
So it's
the good thing about the Joker is
so you don't know
the mystery of the Joker.
Okay, I was gonna try to stay quiet.
That's the good. That's the awesome
thing is that he's a mystery.
So
no, but in the comic books they had touched his origin.
Different Jokers, may as well have all these different Jokers
here and there.
Okay,
and supposedly Jared Leto's pissed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, because the thing is that I think Jared Leto went into Suicide Squad thinking he's going to have a larger part, and that he would be more fleshed out and so on.
But here's the thing that doesn't
he ended
make
up
any
not being
sense.
that way.
Jared Leto is still Joker in Suicide Squad 2
Yes.
and in Gotham City Sirens.
Yes.
Right. So then this is another thing.
Okay, but
and then they're gonna do they're gonna have 3 timelines.
But here's the
in
thing.
one movie.
Oh, remember there's 3 Jokers.
Remember, there's 3 Jokers.
Still, no, I don't like that.
So, Half asked me this question when we covered this the other day. He said, do you think, and you guys would know this better because you guys have read this, do you think that the reason they're doing it, they have the current timeline, right? And they'll have this Joker, whatever movie timeline they're doing, and then they have the TV timeline, right? You think that they're doing that also?
Which TV timeline? The
TV
one in
show.
Gotham? But if he's not a Joker.
No, but I'm saying just the DC characters in general.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, the DC movies, the DC, whatever this is going to be with the Joker and the Batman movie, and then the TV shows. Do you think they're doing all of that so they can build to Infinite Crisis?
No.
Well,
I don't
I've
think
heard that they might. Well, here's
That
the
was
thing.
exactly my answer.
I
Asking
heard-
that question.
I've heard that
I
they might
asked you
build
guys.
to that.
Yeah, I
but
heard that that's their point, or that's like the Infinity War that Marvel is
Right.
doing. For them, it will be Infinity Crisis.
I think
That would be so shitty. Of all their storylines, they're gonna use the one with the same name as fucking Marvel.
Yeah.
Doing
But
so
here's the thing: is that like I've heard that.
or probably they call it Crisis of Infinite Earths.
That one.
Well,
Yeah.
either way, whatever they call it, I have heard that maybe that's like the end, not the end game, but like what they're building up to, and part of it is also to be able to kind of logically recast people, I guess, because at some point they're gonna have to get rid of some of the people that are playing. But Marvel is doing that in a more methodical way, and they're being better about it in that they're building up like they've been
Because
doing.
they have the full control.
They're building up the
That's
characters
fun.
into the storylines that they're making, and then it makes sense.
Yeah.
So you have Chris Evans, who's only going to be Captain America for so long, and then what I predict is that more than likely the guy that's playing Bucky will then take
The
the mantle of Captain America, and then possibly Falcon will be Captain America eventually as well. So recasting is not so much of an issue, even if you stop having Chris Evans be Captain America. But then you're talking about Crisis on Infinite Earths that changes the whole universe entirely. So I
We
think
might
they're
have
just
to
trying to
see
find ways to
two
make it work.
Supermans.
Yeah, they're trying to find different ways to make it
Well,
work.
I never read
and-
Crisis on Infinite Earths or whatever, but I just
In the
Well,
Flash,
it's basically
in the Flash
a bunch
TV
of-
shows, he's always jumping into
Timelines.
different Earths,
Yeah.
the other dimensions
Yeah.
even. So he's met Garrick, that Flash,
J.R.
and he's met the Flash from the future, and he's met Flash from another timeline,
So he's met all his alternate versions, basically.
and the alternate versions of his enemies.
Right. So I mean, I guess it's a way to
listen. If
build
they
it up.
actually are planning that, then props to them. But as my boy said, I don't think they're that smart.
The thing is that
Also,
they
I'm
just
confused right now because this movie is supposed to be the Joker movie is supposed to be a prequel.
no, it's
No,
like it's
it's
got nothing to
it has
do with
nothing to
any
do
of
with
it.
Okay, but it's supposed to be
An origin.
Origin.
an origin story. So they're supposed to show a young guy.
Yes.
Isn't Jared Leto younger than Leonardo DiCaprio? DiCaprio's like 42. Or
But
something.
it's not. It's
But
not
it's
the
not-
same Joker.
I
Yeah.
know, but I'm
They
just
might show
thinking
like an
about the young
evolution.
guy.
They might just start as an
Look.
origin and then jump.
Okay,
Yeah,
look.
I get
So
I think that yeah.
okay, so
how about how this ties in with the fact that they're gonna do a standalone Batman movie also,
Mhm.
and Ben Affleck's not Batman for that.
well, no, he is
No,
For the Batman?
He's gonna be in
Justice.
Justice League,
Right.
but the Matt Reeves Batman, he's out.
That's not what I heard.
His brother came and said he was out, and then they came in and they said
At
he's out.
Comic
I've
Con,
seen-
at Comic Con,
I've seen all the
he confirmed
comments
that he
about
was still Batman.
His brother's
No, like a week later, they said he was out.
That's not what I've heard. I hadn't heard that recently. Look,
All right,
What I had
tell
heard
me.
is-
Go ahead.
okay, so the standalone Batman movie, which is going to be called The Batman, initially was going to be directed and acted by Ben Affleck. Then he stepped down as director, and then people were speculating that he would not be Batman anymore. But then at Comic Con, he
cleared up
came
that he
out
would.
and said that
Yes,
yes, he's going to
the
be
comic
Batman.
book he clear up.
So,
And
I-
is Deathstroke still going to be
We don't know that.
that one? maybe?
Manganiello?
No, they talk about that one and they say that's just a shot.
So they don't know for sure.
They don't know
even
for
what
sure.
the fuck's going to happen with the film, period.
We don't know.
Okay.
So
The point is
There's
that-
a plan out things.
The point is as far as I know, Ben Affleck is still Batman in the
Right.
Batman movie. I haven't heard any different. So I don't know, man. I don't know how that's gonna play out. But as far as like the Joker is concerned, again, if you've read some of the more recent comics, apparently there's 3 different Jokers. So regardless of whether or not it's a alternate universe or whatever, this is an origin story. And then also, if any of you guys did any of you guys read The Killing Joke?
I did.
Okay.
I saw the movie, the little cartoon movie.
Okay.
I got
No,
a
but
copy
the
of
movie
that
is-
for
the
somebody-
movie,
cartoon.
the problem with the
I
movie
got
is
a
that
copy of that for somebody for Christmas.
okay. The problem with the movie
I
is
think
that
it was for him. Yeah.
no, I gave you Joker, the Azzarello version.
No.
That
They
was
gave
the
it to
Killing
you the Killing Joke. They didn't give you.
I don't have The Killing Joke,
Go ahead.
but I've read it. Anyway, the point is that the Killing Joke delves more into why the Joker became that way, and basically in the Alan Moore book, it's more a guy that ends up just having a terrible day, like just a lot of shitty things happen to him, and he basically goes off the edge.
Yeah. So we
He's a
talk a lot
genius.
about monologues.
Joker's a genius. He's not just a regular guy.
Well, again,
he's
it's a
supposed to
different
be-
take.
It's supposed to be like
Right.
That One Bad Day speech in the comic when I read it the first time was amazing.
Right.
And then when I saw there's a YouTube video of Mark Hamill reading it.
Uh-huh. And yeah,
It is.
and then but then
incredible.
what's great about that book though?
Incredible.
What's great
The
about
Killing
the
Joke?
Killing Joke though is
Well,
that
it's just that scene where Mark
Yeah.
Hamill reads the One Bad Day speech.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
but see, here's the thing: is that the great thing about that book is that it shows you the parallel between Batman and the Joker.
Yeah, of course.
Is that they're both they both had a terrible day. One went this direction and the other one went the other, and then that's where their dichotomy is. So it's a really good book.
Well, that's why ultimately, and I say it with love and respect because I know that the Spit Curl's your boy, but this is why Joker is the reason why Batman's a more interesting character than Superman.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Joker as a villain is more interesting than any
It
villain
is.
Superman has.
It is. Well, here's the thing: is that I think that the problem with Superman is just that
It's because Superman is too powerful.
he's too powerful, so it's difficult to write
Well,
for somebody
yeah.
that has almost no vulnerabilities. So, despite the fact that you have Luthor, who is again supposed to be an ultra smart dude, I mean, there's only so much conflict that you can create between somebody who's
yeah.
invincible versus somebody who's just really really smart. So I think
The only
that's what makes
thing,
it
the only thing to
difficult.
make interest in Superman in comics is like bringing problems that a normal guy will have.
Like people can't even lie to Superman because he's like, "Oh no, I hear your heartbeat."
Well,
sorry, you're lying to me.
I thought
Go to jail.
that the Smallville, believe it or not, one of the good things that show did was when they started doing get my little pimp slap. But one of the few good things they did was when they used a different color kryptonite and they made it seem like, all right, this color kryptonite does this to
Well,
this
I
color
mean,
kryptonite
in
does
the
that.
comic universe, there is that.
that kind of shit. Yeah, that's why.
Well, but that's
In the
part-
comic
that's
book,
that's
they
a
do
comic thing too. There's different colored kryptonites, and they each have different
I'm
effects.
so out.
Anyway,
And the movie did it. One of the
John, talk to the mic.
This sounds just retarded.
yeah, remember? What's his name?
That sounds retarded in the comic books too.
Reeves.
Yeah, remember that one of the kryptonite splits him,
What?
and he becomes a good guy and a bad
Yeah,
guy.
but it wasn't a different color.
Oh,
Yeah, it was.
Was
It was
Well,
because Richard Pryor
You're talking about
made
Superman 3.
Superman 3.
he made a synthetic kryptonite, and it
Uh-huh.
didn't come out green. It came out a different color.
Okay. Well, but regardless, the point is that your point was that that's what you like about Batman is that Batman has a very compelling. Batman probably has arguably one of the best villains galleries that you could have because they're all so.
Expensive.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're also very interesting. And the problem is not the problem, but the thing about Batman is that he's a dude. He's a dude in a bat suit, so he's a lot more vulnerable than a guy who's an alien who's impervious to everything. So I get you. The only reason why, not the only reason.
The coolest bad guy Superman has is Doomsday, and maybe Darkseid. But that's about
Darkseid.
Mr. Mixer Spitlick is kind of interesting too, only because Mr. Mixer Spitlick.
You don't know who that
the
is.
little
The
elf
magic.
the magic elf that does whatever he wants to do. He's from the was he the fifth dimension?
What's the word? What's the catchphrase? I'm out there. You go.
All right.
This thing said Rumpelstiltskin.
Mr.
That's a
Mixer.
Superman bad guy.
Obviously, you don't read enough Superman. Bizarro is kind of interesting.
Okay, yeah.
Bizarro's not interesting.
Brainiac.
Oh,
Brainiac.
Brainiac
I
is
take it back. Lobo.
Lobo's
Lobo's that dude.
Lobo's fun.
And Superboy.
Superboy Prime. Superboy Prime is
from the
fucking
Seven
crazy.
Universe. He's the one who caused Infinite Crisis.
Infinite Crisis.
I never read it.
He's
He made
like
it so that
a
Jason
crazy
Todd came back to life.
Anyway, okay, so just to make my point on Superman is that the reason I like Superman a lot is because so it's difficult to write compelling stories about him, but what I like about him as a character is that he's fucking hot.
Heard that.
Yeah, you have it recorded now, so you have proof. But anyway, my point is that
Lori don't watch this episode.
Come on, Jose.
well, you guys keep interrupting me, man. Let me fucking talk. My point about Superman is that what I like about him is that he is built on these values despite the fact that he is basically omnipotent. You know what I mean? Regardless of the fact that he has nearly infinite power, he still chooses to do the right thing.
So he's Jon Snow in Blue Tights.
Exactly.
There you go.
See, then there's your Game of Thrones reference right there. So that's why I like Superman.
Let's
But
go.
anyway.
Let's go for the Inhumans.
Okay, so what have we heard about Inhumans?
That's ass.
That it's ass.
That I'm out.
well,
Yeah, I mean, from everything that you guys were saying earlier, and from everything that
I mean, from anything that we've
curious.
seen, even.
I was curious about going to see the IMAX showing just because IMAX, which is always cool. But
Yeah, but they said it was really
Which
bad.
says
I
don't
read
even waste your
a
money.
few- I read a few positive reviews about it.
Really? What did
Yeah.
they say positively about it?
I'm willing to give it a shot.
Like there was a Yahoo article, and they basically showed a lot of the same tweets that you shit like that you were talking about. But there were quite a few people who were like, "Oh, people are just hating or whatever. It's not that bad." That was like the most favorable one. Was it's not that bad.
But see,
It was.
and then what's funny is that
It's
we
funny
were-
because in one of the reviews was like the costumes, like so these people came out of fucking Comic Con or something because
Right.
they look
Okay.
so
So
cheesy.
let me read some of the couple of comments that somebody made. Okay. So
Did you hear what Medusa said? Like
No.
the chick that plays Medusa.
no, what
She-
she saying?
somebody mentioned to her about how her wig sucks and whatever, and she's like, look, if you had to start something from the basis point of it's perfect, no one would ever start anything.
I suppose.
So that was like her defense.
Good point, I guess, but
But
it still doesn't match the fact that
right, but the thing is,
it
there's
still does nothing
not
for the fact
perfect,
that it's just not good.
and then there's whatever the
Right.
hell this is.
Well,
you gotta start somewhere in between.
but the problem is that you're starting. Okay, she may have said that, but the thing is that you're starting from a very high standard to begin with.
Right.
You know, most of the Marvel products that have come out, with the exception of maybe, well, I mean, Agents of Shield has been decent, I guess,
like
right?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
The first season was kind of like
Okay,
Yeah, the first half of the first
so
season
Iron
was
Fist
bad.
maybe wasn't all that great, but generally speaking, the quality of Marvel products has been very high.
yes.
Right.
So you can't be like, oh well, but if you're
Well, the
starting with
thing
something
is-
that's not perfect,
thing
it's
is
not
that
as good. That doesn't make any sense.
All those things that you're talking about, if you want to question the storytelling, that's fine. You know, that's obviously a subjective, debatable thing. But in Inhumans, when you're starting off with costume design is shitty, like you're toast.
Okay,
You're
so because you mentioned that, okay, so Alonso and I, before we started, recording, he and I looked up a couple of reviews. First of all, one of the reviews that came up was like Inhumans review. Why? It was like the very first word that came out of it. Then the other thing, we looked up the IGN review, which is one that I typically watch, and they're like, they said it was very bad, that it was dull, the dialogue is terrible. What Alonso mentioned was that
The costumes.
the costumes. Somebody mentioned that basically that the Inhumans show is like if your buddies dressed up as the Inhumans for Comic-Con the day before the Comic-Con.
Yes.
So, again, I
You
mean,
should do that.
it just, we might do a better job.
And you should do Medusa.
Sign me up, man. I'll fucking do it.
And I'll be
Um,
Lockjaw. Somehow.
But, it's just one of those things where, like, a lot of people have said it's not worth watching.
Yeah.
And it's disappointing because
It sucks.
it would be cool to see those characters on screen, like,
I was-
done well.
I've been waiting to see
Uh,
Black Bolt
Yeah.
on screen.
Because he's
for
such a
long
cool
time.
character.
He's such a cool
See the one that
character.
doesn't talk?
For a
Yeah.
long time.
It's funny that they're saying that it's bad. What was it? Dialogue. And one of the
He doesn't
characters
say
doesn't
shit.
talk.
Well, for a while, I think I had heard that Vin Diesel had been rumored to play him.
Yeah.
What?
I'm
And
glad it
that,
wasn't
that
me.
would... I thought that would have been cool,
It's like
actually.
Black Bolt.
Black Bolt.
It would have been
Black Bolt
cool
doesn't
because
look
he
like that.
doesn't need to talk. It wasn't-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But whatever. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Jose just likes anybody that looks beefy and
Fucking Jack.
Oh, I wanted
They
to.
just-
That's why he wants a
Jack.
jacked up woman.
Should have got that dude that you follow on Instagram, like crazy
Robert Frank.
That guy.
He does like
He's fucking
he does
awesome.
like-
He's- I love that fucking guy. Shout out to Robert Frank. You're fucking awesome. Keep that shit up. He's fucking great. I love
Guy is
him.
a fucking
He's a beast. That guy's great.
The guy that's always like yelling at the
Yeah.
It's games o'clock, motherfuckers. Let's go. Yeah, I fucking love
And the
that.
wonderful House of Games.
Those
It's like,
glorious House of Games.
Yeah.
What?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, International Chess Day.
It's catching.
Oh my, he's fucking.
It is
awesome.
catching. My wife is fucking hooked on that shit.
He's
And
fucking
I'm just
great.
like, this guy's a buffoon. I mean, I want to say that shit to that nigga's face, right?
No, but like, all I know is
some
But
of
a
the shit
buffoon
that,
in a good way.
have you seen some of the shit that guys write him for like advice and stuff like that?
Yes.
That shit's hilarious.
look. All I gotta say is that like he's gotta be a really smart dude to have found a way to make a character that people are just like,
You
know.
think that's a character?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a character.
Have you actually heard him talk?
Yeah.
He's a smart dude.
That's a
Yeah,
character.
he's a
I
character.
know his
It's a
tips on how to
character.
get women. Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
It's a character. Yeah. No, I mean,
What is your medium
him,
expression? Make sure you
the
have
medium
the
expression.
arms pumped
Get
up.
your fucking
Get your fucking
arms
Guido
swole
pump.
pump.
Then go
Yeah.
into the get the Guido pump going.
Dude, I mean, but if you hear him talk,
It's
he's actually
hilarious, right?
he's hysterical, man,
Yeah,
and
he's funny.
he's found a way to fucking
So-
get himself out there. So
Inhumans is gonna leave us with a bad
from
taste
so
on everything.
far,
So,
far,
yeah.
don't watch.
Well, today's been a really negative. Everything's been nope.
I know.
So,
Defenders,
Death Note sucks. Defenders.
One of the cool things that came out is the Punisher. Punisher gave us
Punisher teaser.
Punisher teaser. Give us the news of the episodes
Okay.
that are gonna come out.
We asked this in the
And-
text, right? Who we think is the secret character that's going to be revealed or whatnot. I heard the rumor that it's Ghost Rider. I heard the rumor also that it's supposed to be Moon Knight.
I've heard Jigsaw.
Moon Knight. That's what they were talking
I
about.
heard
I heard
Jigsaw.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. Really?
Jigsaw the bad. Jigsaw might be the bad guy.
Yeah,
But
Jigsaw will be the bad guy.
they kind of the way they framed that statement, it seemed like it was going to be like another major character.
Huh. Like a cameo?
Yeah,
I like that good.
I don't know about a cameo.
yeah.
Maybe
It's
just
kind of what
another
it didn't
introductory-
necessarily say it. It just that's how it felt, right? Like
I wouldn't be surprised if it's another introduction though, and then they go off to another show.
Probably.
'Cause
Well, you
again,
say-
you guys have heard also the one about Ghost Rider. You've heard that one.
Yes.
What's
So
that?
that
He
there's
might
a reference
be-
to Ghost Rider.
Oh.
And he might appear there, but we probably we're not gonna see him in costume. We're just gonna see the character of the Ghost Rider is gonna come out. Oh, it died. The camera died at the
really
battery.
dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay, well maybe we'll just cut it out.
Yeah.
From here on out. So, but anyway, I mean, the Punisher teaser looks really cool. I like.
So who's
Bernthal.
Jigsaw?
He's basically like the antithesis of the Punisher. I mean, that's as much as I know about him. He's just like,
Yeah.
I've heard of the
like
character.
like Flash. and
Look, I'm gonna
Reverse
tell
Flash.
you, most
Like, that's what
most of the bad guys or the Punisher guys that he confronts in the comics are military. Everything is pretty much based police, military, or anything like that. Or a person, nothing mystical, nothing out of this world. It's just people
Yeah,
that are
of
gonna
course.
want to fucking follow him and fucking capture him or whatever X reason. It's just that.
That's not the newest teaser though.
Like,
Some
or he gets bad guys from the street. That's more likely than anything like that.
But anyway,
Yes.
I think it would have been cool. They would have had like a Craven the Hunter.
well,
No,
that's a Spider-Man.
that's
film,
Spider-Man verse.
They've never fought. I mean, everybody's in Marvel's fought.
Maybe
everybody,
so. Well, but
yeah,
here's the thing: is that harkening back. I mean, the Punisher's first appearance was in Amazing Spider-Man. He was hunting Spider-Man.
awesome.
So what I was saying up to Alonso is like one of the what you call it titles for one of the episodes is Crosshairs. So it would be cool if it was like his crosshairs on Spider-Man, like it was in that comic book cover.
You
So,
just all
What am I
have the
looking
same reaction. We just went like this.
goddamn.
Is that now? You
Yeah.
just posted that now? All right.
So what is it? That just not right
No,
now?
I think
So
it's fake.
show's over because we gotta go watch.
Yes.
Infinity
We
War.
just find
No, I
out.
think it's fake.
It's probably fake.
Well, go back to it. Go back to it.
No, it's fake.
It's fake.
It's been up too long
It's a
for us
first
not
look.
to know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fake.
It's super fake.
But anyway,
So yeah, there was another Kandahar is an episode that really intrigues me. An episode title that intrigued me, and then the Judas.
The Judas contract?
That's is it Judas contract?
No.
Or Judas Goat.
Oh, Judas. No.
I didn't
The
see what
Judas
it was.
contract is from the Teen Titans.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And then the last one is Memento Mori.
Yeah, I saw that title. I thought that was kind
I
of
saw
cool.
the titles.
That's a cool title.
Can't wait.
Memento
So-
Mori is the last one.
And I really like. I so far I've liked Bernthal
Judas
as the Punisher. He was pretty awesome. So, but I think we gotta wrap it up, right?
Yeah.
Because that's
One more thing that I have is that
Once you're done,
Shazam started production already. So for the movie, but
He's been cast.
they haven't said anything about the casting.
Mm.
They haven't said because they wanted to keep it secret.
So
Who are
is
they
The
gonna-
Rock still Black Adam?
I believe
I think
so.
He's contracted for that.
Yeah, he's contracted for Black Adam, because they're gonna do a solo film for Black Adam, I believe. But Shazam going into production, that means something good, you know. It's like what is it, Batson?
Billy
Billy
Batson.
Batson.
Yeah, Billy Batson.
Who are they gonna cast? They had to cast two guys,
Some Samoan kid.
a kid and a adult.
Yeah.
So
I
we'll
don't
see.
know that
We'll
much
see.
about Shazam. It's just a little boy who turns into a superhero, right?
Yes.
He
How
says
does he get that power?
the wizard?
The
gives him
wizard
power.
gave it to him. The wizard Shazam gives it to
Kingdom
him.
Come.
Best
Right,
fucking
best
stuff, man.
Shazam story that I ever
Yeah.
heard.
One more thing I want to say real quick. So one of these days we're gonna go check out a new comic book store, Multiverse Core Comics.
Sure.
It opened up recently, I think, on 8th Street and like 142nd. For those of you who are in the
Miami.
Miami area, we're gonna go check that out, and hopefully, once we do check it out, we can give you guys a heads up on how that place turns out. So far, the things I've seen are pretty cool. Like, you know, they don't charge for, you know, bags and boards and stuff like that. A lot of places, you know, you go to comic book stores,
Yeah.
and they charge you for bags and boards.
Really?
I went
Yeah.
to Max Comic here in Miami too, and they don't charge me for bags and to put my comics on it. So
Yeah,
that's
they
pretty cool.
handle comics with like cotton gloves and all this stuff, and like they do a good job, you know. And we're gonna go check that place out.
Yeah.
What it is. I want to say it's on 8th Street and like 142nd or something like that. It opened, I think, the beginning of August, so we gotta go check it out and maybe give them a little review and give them a little holler. That's pretty much it, man. So
Like that.
peace out, nigga.
Is
Am I allowed to say that?
If you like.
You just did
It's
that
no.
shit coming. That's
No,
cardio.
I've had.